Hello, beautiful sacred souls. In this video, we're going to explore the language of boundaries, how to speak and hear healthy limits. This is a script I've written. I've been exploring in some of my recent videos this idea about boundaries. In my last video, we talked about how to recognize when boundaries aren't being respected. And today I want to go a layer deeper into the language of boundaries. Because boundaries aren't just what we say, they're how we say it and how it's received. Learning to recognize healthy boundary language can help you communicate more clearly. It can reduce unnecessary conflict, and it can help you identify when a relationship is capable of mutual respect or not. This isn't about saying things perfectly. It's about understanding what healthy communication sounds like. Healthy boundary language has a few core qualities. It's clear, not vague. It's short and brief, not over-explaining. It's self-referential, not blaming. It's calm or grounded, even when feelings are strong. It focuses on what I will do, not what you must do. Examples of healthy boundary setting language might be things such as, I'm not available for this conversation right now. I'm not able to lend money and I won't be discussing it further. I need to end this call if the conversation continues this way. I can do X, but I can't do Y. Notice there's no attack, no justification spiral, no attempt to control the other person. It's just truth. From a nervous system perspective, this kind of language comes from regulation, not reactivity. Language that sets boundaries in unhealthy ways. Well, some of us are still learning how to set boundaries, so we may occasionally speak in ways that are not healthy and might trigger someone. Unhealthy boundary language often comes from fear of abandonment, resentment that's been held for too long, or a history of not being allowed to have needs or boundaries. That doesn't make someone bad. It means that the boundary is trying to emerge through a deregulated body. Examples include things such as, you always do this and I'm sick of it. If you don't stop, I'm done with you. Don't ask me that. I shouldn't have to explain this to you. Why can't you just respect me? Why can't you just accept me as I am? These statements may contain valid needs, but the delivery invites defensiveness, escalates power struggles, or blurs the boundary into protest. Neuroscience tells us that when language comes from threat activation, the other person's nervous system hears danger, not information. The boundary may be reasonable, the delivery makes it harder to land. Why over-explaining is also a boundary leak. Another common pattern is over-explaining or over-justifying boundaries. I happen to do this because I grew up in a family that didn't respect my boundaries, so now I think I have to give lots of explanations about why my boundary is important. An example of this might look like, I'm sorry, it's just that I've been really tired and I had a lot going on and I know you didn't mean it, but XYZ. This usually means your system learned that needs weren't respected without convincing, or that your safety depended on being understood. But here's the truth. A healthy boundary does not require the other person to agree or understand, only to respect it. Let's explore language that acknowledges and respects boundaries so that we understand whether or not somebody is actually respecting the boundary that you've set. When someone respects the boundary, it sounds something like this. Okay, I hear you. Thanks for telling me. Ooh, I didn't realize that. I'll adjust. I may not fully understand, but I respect your limit. What's important is they don't argue. They don't take it personally. They don't require reassurance. From a psychological perspective, this reflects emotional maturity, internal regulation, capacity for mutuality. Respect doesn't mean liking the boundary. It means honoring it. Let's explore language that does not respect somebody's boundary. Boundary violating language often sounds subtle, not overtly abusive. Examples include things like, "I was just trying to help." "You're too sensitive." "That's not what I meant." "But your mother, partner, friend allow." "After everything I've done for you." "Well, I did it for you. I don't know why you can't do it for me." "Why can't you just accept me where I am?" This language recenters the speaker's intent. It dismisses the impact, or it implies obligation. Neuroscience shows that this kind of language increases stress and confusion for the person setting the boundary because it asks them to override their own perception in order to maintain connection. That is not communication. That is pressure. And over the long term, that teaches the person who is setting boundaries to ignore their own needs and their own boundaries, and that keeps their nervous system in a state of hyper alert. Here's a simple way to discern health in real time. Here's a grounding question you can use. Does this response move towards understanding and adjustment in the relationship, or towards defensiveness and justification? Healthy communication moves toward adaptation. Unhealthy communication moves towards control or invalidation. It leads to lack of repair. Another check is, after the interaction, do you feel clearer, calmer, and more self-trusting? Or do you feel confused, guilty, or deregulated? Your body is an accurate data source. It doesn't mean that language has to be perfect. It means that both sides are able to acknowledge when they've done something unhealthy, take responsibility and repair, and be open to change. Unhealthy is when people can't take accountability, can't adapt or reflect, and are unwilling to grow with each other. Learning this is practice. It is not a test, and it isn't about perfection. Many of us were never taught how to state our needs cleanly, how to hear limits without collapsing, or how to stay regulated in relational discomfort. So if you recognize yourself in any of these patterns on either side, it is not about failure. It is not about blame. It is a skill that can be learned. Healing relationships are not about perfection. They're about repair on both sides, responsiveness on both sides, and respect on both sides. In closing, healthy boundaries are not about saying the right words. They're about honoring your internal signals, communicating from self-respect, and noticing who is capable of meeting you there. When communication becomes clearer, relationships deepen, or they often reveal their limits. Both outcomes are information. Both can be acts of care. It is important for us to continue to grow and evolve as human beings and recognize when relationships are making it difficult to do that. If this teaching supported you, I invite you to like, subscribe, comment, share, and if you want to go deeper, my book, The Divine Within: Healing Ourselves to Heal the World, may be a resource to support your healing journey. It is available on online platforms such as Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Powell's Books, and Walmart. Or I invite you to work with me through my online courses or in mentorship. You can find more at blossomingheartwellness.com. You are allowed to speak plainly. You are allowed to have needs and boundaries. You are allowed to be heard. And you are allowed to choose relationships that can meet you in those things. I am sending you so much love and appreciation for who you are and where you are on your healing journey.